Welcome students. In this video we are going to learn how to find mean by using direct method and assumed mean method. And of course that is for group data. So now let us recall what is mean of the data. So mean of the data is or mean of the observation is the sum of all observations divided by total number of observations. Is it okay? Now we have seen how to find out mean of data 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how many values are there? Suppose 5 values are there. Then we used to add 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 divided by 5. So that value was mean for small data. Isn't it? Then we have also learned how to find out mean for large data by using frequency table. Isn't it? So let us quickly revise that method also. So here we have ungrouped data, and in which you will find marks are given and number of students as frequency, and then we have calculated FIXI, isn't it? So now how do we calculate FIXI? So now 2 is coming 2 times. That means there are 2 students who have scored 2 marks. So if I want to add XI, that is the value of observations. If I want to add these numbers are coming these many times, that is frequency times. So 2 is coming 2 times, so it will be 2 into 2 4, that is sum of 2 will be 4. Then 3 is coming 5 times, so sum of all those observations in which 3 marks are there, that will be 15. So if I want to add all the observations, what will I add? I will add the product FIXI. I will add the product FIXI. Xi is value of the observation, Fi is frequency, that how many times that value is repeated. Now if I add these values, what will I obtain? I'll obtain summation Fi/Xi. Now what is this summation? This is sigma, actually Greek alphabet, and this means summation, that means addition, sum. Addition or sum. So sum of all these values is nothing but sum of all observations. Now sum of all observations upon sum of observations. Now how many observations are there? So if we add frequency, we will get sum of observations. So that will be summation Fi. Is it okay? And here summation FIXI. Is it okay? So if we divide by summation Fi, then what will we obtain? We will obtain mean. And this we have learnt in previous standard, and that is for large data which is ungrouped, isn't it? So how do we write the formula? So regular we used to write mean is equal to x bar. We always indicate mean with x bar, and it is equal to f1 x1 plus f2 x2 plus fn xn. Now what is this 1 1? So first row, second row, and third row, it is indicated by suffix like f1 x1, f2 x2, and so on. But instead of writing such a lengthy formula, we can use the symbol sigma, which means summation. So summation FIXI. Now what is I here? I is varying, or it is a number which is varying from 1 to n. So if there are 10 such rows, you will have I from 1 to 10. Is it okay? So x bar is equal to summation FIXI upon summation Fi. Here denominator is sum of observation, and numerator is sum of observation, and denominator is number of observations. Is it clear? So this formula we have used for finding mean of ungrouped data. Now similar kind of calculations we are going to do for group data, and that particular method is called as direct method because it is very much resembling to this particular method. So now in direct method, what we do? So a survey was, let us study this particular method by taking question from the exercise itself. So this is first question from exercise 14.1. A survey was conducted by a group of students as a part of their environment awareness program, in which they collected the following data regarding the number of plants in 20 houses in a locality. Find the mean number of plants per house. What is the table? So this is the table, organized the data, and it is always in ascending order. You will find the data is always arranged in ascending order. So 0 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 8, 8 to 10, 10 to 12, and 12 to 14. These are the number of plants, and then number of houses are given, so frequency is also given. Now we need to find out mean average number of plants in each house, isn't it? Now how will you find? Because if we go for 0 to 2 plants, means how many plants are there? There can be 0, that is no plant, or 1. For 2 to 4 there can be 2 or 3. So by which number of plants, or by which value you will multiply? Will you multiply by 2 or 3? So as I told you, here the interval is always represented by its class mark, that is the mid value, that is the midpoint of the class interval, isn't it? So what will we do? We will find out class mark for each interval. So let us go for finding class interval. So we make a table again. Here we write number of plants in intervals, then we write number of houses, that is the frequency is written, and now we write class mark. Now how to find out class mark? As I told you, class mark is average of upper class limit and lower class limit, that is upper class limit plus lower class limit upon 2. So 2 plus 0 upon 2, it will be 1. 2 plus 4, 6 upon 2, that will be 3. So we have calculated class mark for each interval. Now here observe children, what is the class width of each class in this? 0 to 2, 2, 2 to 4, 2. So everywhere the class width is 2. Now you find out the class mark for first and keep on adding 2 every time. So what will you obtain? You will obtain the class mark of the next class. 1 plus 2, 3. 3 plus 2, 5. 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 9 plus 2, 11 plus 2, 13. This is the easy way to get the class mark without doing calculation. You have to do just for first one and then go for class width, provided the class width is uniform. Is it clear, children? So this can be one method. Another method is also there. You find out class mark of first one and then add this class mark to the lower class limit of next. So 2 plus 1, 3. 4 plus 1, 2 plus 1, 3. 4 plus 1, 5. 6 plus 1, 7. 8 plus 1, 9, and so on. So these two are the shortcuts which you can use to do fast calculation for getting class mark. Because for group data, you need to get class mark because that will be only the representative value for that class interval, isn't it? So getting class mark is first step in finding mean, mode, and median. Is it clear? So let us go for further calculation. So now we have obtained the class mark. Now what we do? We multiply, as in previous case we have done fi xi. So now here xi will be the class mark and not the 0 to 2 interval. So xi will be the class mark, which is, once again I tell you, representative of the class interval. So you will multiply now these two, 1 into 1, 2 into 3, 1 into 5, and then you will get the next table, that is fi xi. Now it is as previous case. You will find out the sum of fi xi. The sum is coming to be 162. Then sum of frequency you will find out, that is coming to be 20. And then use the formula mean is equal to summation of fi xi upon summation of fi. We got the values, x bar is equal to 162 upon 20, and hence it is coming out to be 8.1. Now remember children, as we are finding this particular mean by taking class mark, this is always approximate. When it was ungrouped data, you were getting the exact value of mean. But when we talk about group data, now we are assuming that the class mark is the representative value, but it may not be necessary. Is it okay? If we are talking about 10 to 20 interval, then you may find that more number of values are close to 10. So you cannot say that always class mark is the correct representative. It is our assumption, and that's why whatever mean we obtain in case of group data, it is approximate. But you will find it's not very far from the actual value. Is it clear? So this is approximate value of the mean and we take it as very correct value. Now this method is called as direct method because it is very much similar or rather same as in case of ungrouped data. Only thing is here that we are doing the calculation by taking xi as class mark as it is group data. I hope you have understood this method very well and understood the meaning of direct method also. Is it okay? Now let us go for another method. This method, direct method, becomes very difficult to do when the numbers are bigger. So we have another method, that is assumed mean method. Now assumed means we are considering something. Is it okay? So what we do in this method, so let us study by taking another problem, that is question number 2. Consider the following distribution of daily wages of 50 workers in a factory. So the table is there and the wages are starting from 500 and ending up to 600, and the intervals are of 20, like 500 to 520, 520 to 540, and 540 to 560, and so on. And they are in rupees, and number of workers are also given. So you can refer the tables. I have zoomed it for you. You can see it very clearly now. So again the same thing. Without class mark we cannot work. So let us go for finding the mean, finding the class mark. So we have again the table. So daily wages, number of workers, class marks. Now daily wages we have written the intervals here. Then we will write number of workers. So 12, 14, 8, 6. It is little shifting, but you can understand very well. Then class mark. Now 500 to 520, it will be 510. See, what is the class width? 20. So 510 plus 20, 530. 530 plus 20, it is 550. 550 plus 20, it is 570, and 570 plus 20, it is 590. Without finding average for other class interval, you can easily get the value of class mark if you know the class mark for first interval and the class width of the groups. Is it clear? So now we have done class mark also. Now what we do, if we multiply 510 into 12, 530 into 14, so huge number will be generated, and more the greater are the numbers, greater chances of mistakes there. So we have to reduce these numbers. So what we do? So here we assumed the mean. Now this assumed mean can be any number. You can keep it as 510 also. You can keep it as 590, or you can keep it as middle number, that is 550. Now this number should be one of the number from class mark. That is very true. You cannot assume any other. You should have one of the number, and this is also why, because then at one entry you get 0. Now what we find? We find a difference. Now this difference is actually xi minus a. Now what is xi? It is little upward, downward, but you can understand. So 510 minus 550. So what is the answer? It will be 510 minus 550. It will be 40. That is minus 40. 510 minus 550. Why 550? Because we have assumed mean to be 550. We have assumed this. Is it okay? So 510 minus 550, it will be minus 40. Then next calculation, 530 minus 550, it will be minus 20. Then 550 minus 550, it will be 0. That's why we have to select the assumed mean from one of these values, because one entry is 0. That means one product is 0, which is easy for us, isn't it? Which is decreasing our work. Now 570 minus 550, it will be 20. 590 minus 550, it will be 40. Are you getting? So now the numbers are reduced. These 500 numbers, these class marks are in 500s. Now they are reduced to 40s and 20s and so on. So we have reduced our work. Now we will do the calculation Fi di. So we will treat these di as new xi, that is new class marks. Are you getting? So these value into Fi. Now which product? These two product or column product we have to do. So that is Fi di. Now some products, of course, you are going to get negative. but they are going to be negative only. So let us do that product now. So it is 12 into minus 40, so it will be minus 480. Can you see 12 into minus 40? Then 14 into minus 20, it will be minus 280. 8 into 0, it will be 0. 6 into 20, it will be 120. 10 into 40 is equal to 400. Is it not easy to multiply these numbers instead of multiplying 590 into or 570 into 6 and 550 into 8? Then even addition of these numbers is very easy. Now we have to follow the same procedure, summation. So summation fi xi we used to do in earlier case. Now here what will we do? We will do it as fi di. We call it di, means it is representing difference. Now add this particular column, add frequency column. So frequency column is added and you get 50 here. Now here how will you add? What can be the easy? So you can take one negative, one positive. You can have combination because middle number is 0 here. Is it okay? So 400 minus 480, it will be minus 80, and 120 minus 280. So what will be the number? So it will be minus 80 plus minus 160, and minus 80 plus minus 160, it will be minus 240. If not able to do it in mind, do by writing the numbers vertically and add them. In that case, how will you add? You add first negative numbers, add positive numbers, and then do the addition of negative and positive numbers. I hope that I need not to explain you. You can do it very well. So sum of this last column is coming now FIDI. It is not FIXI, it is FIDI. DI is difference of assumed mean and the class mark. Is it okay? So you will find it is coming out to be minus 240. So now how will we get the exact mean? So now exact mean is x bar is equal to a, that is assumed mean. We have subtracted from each class mark this a value. Which value we have subtracted? A. So whatever value of this particular term we are getting, what we need to do? We have to add assumed mean. Are you getting? So as we have subtracted from the class mark the value of assumed mean, what we do? In formula we add a plus summation FIDI upon summation FI. Now put the values. So assumed mean was 550 plus minus 240 upon 50. Here you can cancel 0, 0. 24 upon 5 will be 550 upon minus 4.8. 5 4s are 20 and 4 5 8s are 40, so it is 4.8. So 550 minus 4.8, arrange vertically, or if you can do in horizontal calculation, do it. So it coming out to be 545.2. Now this is average of the or average wages of the worker. Is it okay? So what should be the unit? It is rupees. So here average wages of the worker is 545.2. Again, let me tell you children, this is always approximate mean of the data. Is it okay? In group data you always get approximate mean. So why do we call, or when do we go for assumed mean? When the numbers are bigger. If the numbers are smaller, then you can go with the direct method for finding the mean. And if the numbers are bigger, you will always go with assumed mean method. Few more problems based on this method to have more clarity we will see in next video. By that time you copy these two problems and wait for the next session. Thank you children.